Welcome to the Divorce to Dynamite podcast. I'm Michelle O'Neill. My guest today is Rebecca Silvestri. Y'all are going to be so excited to meet this woman. She just is a pick-me-up all day, every day. And anyway, so without further ado, just welcome Rebecca Silvestri.
Yay!
Yay! All right.
Thank you.
All right. So your motto is,
I feel great.
I feel great.
I am full of energy.
I am full of energy.
Today is the best day ever.
Today is the best day ever.
Woo!
Woo! All right. So your motto in life is today is the best day ever.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And every single day, today is the best day ever.
That's correct. Yes.
Where did this come from?
Great question. So I learned from a friend that your brain can't really distinguish between what you're telling it, and reality. And so I thought, okay, well, if my brain doesn't really know the difference between what I'm thinking and reality, well, I keep feeling tired. How would I rather feel? I would like to feel great. I feel great. I'm full of energy. And then I thought, well, if I'm having a crappy day, I keep having crappy days, what would be a better alternative to happy days? Well, I'm going to tell myself today is the best day ever.
I love it. How long ago did you come up with it?
Great question. So I came up with it, it must have been 5 years ago, something like that. I don't even remember anymore.
I feel like I've known you more than 5 years, though.
You have. You've known me 9 years.
I feel like you've had this like for more than I've known you.
It could be that I feel like I didn't come up with the motto, but I've always been a very upbeat, very energetic, happy person.
Okay, so I just feel like you've known it the whole time. But,
yes.
Okay.
But I didn't vocalize it. Yeah.
You didn't vocalize it.
Exactly.
It just was there.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have honed it in and now you have it mottoed.
Yes, that's right.
I love it. Well, it's one of my favorite things. And anytime I'm having a bad day, you know what I hear in my head?
I have a good idea. Really?
Yeah, no, I do. It's like a little recording in my head, especially of you at the women's conference.
Yes.
And you up on the stage and how many hundreds of women?
650.
What? I thought it was more than that. Yeah.
It would be more, but they can't fit.
Well, we need a bigger place.
We do.
This women's event that she puts on every year and maxes out under 700 women, so we're going to have to find another place. And she's up on the stage in a beautiful suit every year, and she's up there on the stage leading that chant that you just heard her do. And so anytime I have a bad day or I wake up not feeling great, like that's what I hear in my head. And then somehow either I feel better or I argue with her about it in my head. So, okay. Well, now I know that you have personally faced some challenges in your life, and as we all do, but I know that you've personally faced some large challenges.
Yeah.
So I know that not every day of your life is literally the best day ever. And I know that not every day of your life you have this huge, bubbly, over-the-top personality. So how do you make every day be the best day ever? Like, what do you do when you don't feel it?
Yes, that's a really good point. So first of all, I've struggled with having the motto and then having days that weren't the best day ever and feeling a bit like a fraud. I've really struggled with that. But my next iteration was to realize that today is really the only day we have, right? Yesterday's gone. We can't change it. Tomorrow, we don't even know if it will happen. So I bring myself back to today is the only day. So if today is the only day, why not make it the best day ever or do everything in your power to make it the best day ever? And then I like to bring more control into that. So I'm a big believer that we're in control, right? So no matter what happens, we can't control what happens, right? We can't control if, like, I don't know, the window breaks or one of these cameras falls over, but we can control our reaction to it. So it's remembering I am in control of me. I'm not in control of everything that happens around me and everything happening to me, but I am in control with how I react. And the way I remember that is I am response able.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So, for example, this morning, my little girl, it was picture day. She's 6 and she's autistic. Quite challenging situation. Trying to get her ready for picture day because she kept changing her mind about what dress she wanted. I had to brush her hair. I had to color her hair with like weird chalks that you put in the hair and get her to school on time. It was not going well. There was lots of screaming and nakedness. Lots of
It was
screaming.
not the best day ever.
She was screaming, I was naked. No, it was the other way around. We were both screaming and she was naked. But I kept remembering to myself, I am response able. I can't really control what she's doing, but I can control my reaction to how she's behaving. And then I have a second piece that really, really helps, and it's remembering to be thankful. So it's I am response able and I am thankful for. And so whatever is happening in that moment, I really dig into myself and I say, what can I be thankful for? And I'll say, I'm thankful for being a mother. I am thankful for having this sweet little girl that I get to look after. I'm thankful for the fact that we have too many dresses for her to select from and that we have nice things that she can wear and go to school in. And that really helps deal with the screaming. And you move through the situation, you remember that you really are blessed. And it is the best day ever.
So what would you say to, a woman who is really going through a tough life transition, whether it's illness, whether it's divorce, whether it's loneliness, that is so far down in the dumps that she just doesn't feel like she can see that. She doesn't feel like she can see something that she can be responsible for or something that she can show that gratitude for. Like, what would you say to her?
I learned this recently, that your brain can't kind of cope with singing and happy music and being sad at the same time. So it's like almost a life hack that if you are doing something difficult, if you put on music and sing along to it, even if it's chores, or for me, like cleaning up the toilet after the children have messed up, if I put on music and I sing, my brain can't wrap its head around the fact that if I'm singing, but basically your brain says, if you're singing, you like what you are doing. So if I was so in the dumps that I couldn't think of something I was grateful for, and I couldn't, wrap my head around the idea that I can respond and control how I respond, I would try putting on some happy music and try making yourself sing to it. And I know that can be really challenging in a difficult time. Sure. But that is probably my first step, is try singing. And try listening to some music that will lift you up. And then hopefully your brain could go to, I'm thankful that I have this ability to play music. I am thankful that I'm living. I am thankful, just being thankful for even the smallest thing. Like, I am thankful for, I may be going through a divorce, but I'm thankful that I still have somewhere to live, or I am thankful that I have the means to work through a divorce amicably with an attorney at my side.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a song you like to sing when you feel down in the dumps? I don't even know the answer to this question because I just heard this, so now I have to ask.
Well, so many, but my go-to is Meghan Trainor. I literally just will grab my phone and I'll say play Meghan Trainor, because 90% of her songs are uplifting, they're body positive. They're all about like, if I was you, I'd wanna be me too. Like, it's all about like,
I love it.
It's all about happiness and being, control of yourself.
Meghan Trainor. See, now when I hear Meghan Trainor, I'm gonna think of you and the best day ever, and I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, okay, well, Is there like something you do? Like, do you have like a morning ritual that gets you kind of in this brain space?
So every other day I go rock climbing.
Every other day? Wow.
Yes.
No wonder you look like you do.
Yes, I am really, really into my rock climbing. And so getting to go rock climbing and moving my body, I just love it. I hate working out, but rock climbing for me doesn't feel like working out. It just feels like fun. And it's hard. Like, you have to be strong. So when I'm doing that rock climbing, doing something hard, I'm saying to myself, I am strong. I can do hard things, and that really helps. And then I don't get to go every day because my husband goes on the other day. That's why it's every other day. I remind myself, like, today is the best day ever. We do it with the kids. When we drop the kids off, we say to them, what day is it today? And they go, today is the best day ever. And then they get out of the car and off they go.
I bet that makes so much of a difference in how they approach just their days.
I hope so.
Do you ever hear any feedback from their teachers about how their mindset impacts their day? Or
So not now they're in elementary school, but when they were in preschool, you could walk the kids in and drop them off, obviously pre-COVID, but walk them in and drop them off. And we'd walk them in and we'd go, best day ever. And the little toddlers would turn around, the whole class would go, best day ever.
oh my gosh, that's
Isn't that the
amazing.
cutest thing?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be like the next Mel Robbins or something.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. I mean, it's so obvious.
Thank
You need to like write the book, The Best Day Ever. I mean, I did find you this
You did.
sweatshirt.
Woo!
I mean, I was like on either Instagram or Facebook, where all great ideas come from nowadays. And like all of a sudden there's this ad staring me in the face with this sweatshirt that says best day ever. And it's like a God thing because, God puts this sweatshirt in front of me that says best day ever. Well, what does one do?
Well, one obviously purchased it for
One
me.
obviously orders it, and then one gets it in, and it's a little big, but whatever,
Oh, I love it. It's okay.
But it's like the greatest sweatshirt ever. with
It
all
is. It is the best sweatshirt ever.
I mean, all the colors and the sequins and everything, it
Yes.
just reminds me so much of you.
Yeah.
And I'm a terrible gift giver, but when I find like the perfect gift, like you may only ever in your lifetime get one gift from me, but when I knock it out of the park, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I'm the same
Yeah,
way. I'm
yeah,
the same way. It's
yeah.
been 10 years and you haven't gotten a gift from me, but when I find
When you
one,
find that
it's
one
gonna
thing,
be good.
hey, that's how I am. You may never get another gift from me, but when you get that one thing, man, I'm like, I rock it. Okay, so how, in our culture, where like I feel like we live in such a negative culture, and we just kind of ended this political season, which you're British, so I guess over there they have their own negative political culture too.
Yes, absolutely.
We've just ended this kind of negative political season, and maybe that isn't even going to make a difference because we're just kind of all in this negative place and so divided in our country on cultural issues and political issues and all this stuff that I just feel like we just live such in this negative place. How do you think we can take like just your little motto and make it, bigger?
So for me, best day ever is a lifestyle. So it's a choice to decide that you understand that today is the only day you have. And so if today is the only day you have, make it the best day ever. So for me, it's living that lifestyle, that this is the way I live. And then recognizing that you have 100% control over yourself. And I think a lot of people have a big problem with that. They might say, well, my husband did this to me and my husband ruined my day, or my partner, they did XYZ and that's destroyed my life. Well, granted, I'm sure there are people doing horrible things to each other, but the way that you choose to react, you can control. So it's understanding, even in the hardest situations, you can always control how you react. And being thankful. There are a lot of other things to it, but those three things is really at the core. And then some other things I do. I don't watch television. I've deleted all my social media. I don't spend time with people who bring me down and are negative. And I also learned a new phrase. Have you heard FOPO?
I have not.
So FOPO is fear of other people's opinions.
Oh, FOPO. I love it.
Right? And I feel like get rid of your FOPO. Because there are very few people whose opinions really matter to me. But if we let our heads constantly tell us, oh, I'm worried about what the security guard thinks, or I'm worried about the driver next to me who, is honking his horn things. I don't know who that person is.
Right.
He should have no sway on my life and how I feel.
Right.
And I think most people spend their whole life worrying about what other people think, and they should focus on how you feel and live by your values.
Right.
If I've acted against my values, then I should feel bad,
Sure.
right? But if I'm acting in accordance to my personal values, and you disagree, because you might, but I know that what I did lines up with my personal values, I should not worry about your opinion.
Right.
Because I'm acting according to what I believe is right.
And I always kind of think, when other people are behaving badly, like the guy on the highway honking at you or having road rage or something, or, whenever I'm dealing with a lawyer who's behaving badly or something, I always just, this is my mama coming out in me, but I always just think, look in my purse, like, do I have a Cliff Bar or something? Like, they're probably hungry.
They're probably hungry.
Like, dude's probably hungry.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, dude's probably hungry. Like,
Yeah.
Are you hungry, honey? Here's a bar,
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, that's kind of like the idea of giving somebody
Yeah.
grace because you don't know what they're going through.
Well, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because often something will happen and it feels like it was directed at
Right.
you. And you think, oh
Right.
my God, I did this. It's my fault. I'm a terrible
Why are
person.
they being mean to me? What did I do?
What did I
Take
do?
it personally.
99% of the time, you did nothing. They're having a bad
Right.
day.
You don't know, did they have a fight with their spouse? Like, what's going on at home? Like, you don't know what's going on that they're having to deal with that you know nothing about.
Exactly.
And like, so my way of just internalizing it is I always just think, because my mom was a nurturer with food.
Yeah.
My husband, my husband is a nurturer with food.
Yep.
My grandmothers, both of them were nurturers with food, which probably is why I have, a little extra roll here and there, and I don't go rock climbing.
Well, you're welcome to join me.
I might break a nail. But that's why I just, in my head, like, anytime somebody's having a bad day and they direct it my way, that's like where I come from, is I always just think, oh, he's hungry, and I always just usually have like a granola bar or a protein bar or something in my purse. I'm like, oh, are you
That's a
hungry
great
here?
idea.
Like,
Yeah.
and I literally, like, not just think it, I like literally will get out the protein bar and like, are you hungry? Like, and it usually takes them so off guard.
Right?
Like, they're usually like, if they're being jackasses, like, it just usually takes them so off guard. Like, they're just being total jackasses. And I'm like, hang on just a minute. Like, are you
Are
hungry?
you hungry? I love that.
Imagine being a
brilliant.
lawyer in court and like somebody
it's
being
so
a jackass to you, and you're like, hold on just a minute. Are you hungry?
And we're in Texas, and they're like, "Oh my God, is she digging around?"
Yeah,
Gun,
like-
I don't know. And then you pull out. A
I
Clif
mean,
Bar.
you know me. I mean,
yeah.
you never know. But yeah, and I pull out a Cliff Bar, protein bar. Like, are you hungry?
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I might
yeah,
start doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a euphemism for like so many other things, but
Yeah.
it just reminds me of like, give other people grace because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And I remember recently I know you deleted your social media, but I run this group of women lawyers, and some women can complain about the littlest of things, but there was this debate in my women's group about this woman had gone to court and she'd had this really negative interaction with another woman lawyer.
Okay.
And it was just this super negative interaction. And I mean, she just in our group, and the other woman was not a member of our group. And I mean, she's just like a whole paragraph letting this woman have it about this negative interaction she had. And then, of course, everybody else in the group was piling on like, oh my gosh, I can't believe another woman would treat another woman that way. And oh my gosh. Being sympathetic, which I'm all about, like having your girls back, right? But then, I had to be the other opinion. And
Yes, love it.
And I'm like, well, maybe we should give her grace. Like, we don't know what she's going through. Maybe she's in a bad marriage. Maybe she's being treated poorly. Maybe her husband is abusive. Maybe her husband is emotionally abusive. Like, we just don't know what she's going through.
Yep.
And then I kind of said, or maybe she's on a diet and maybe she's just hungry, ladies. Like, you act badly when you're hungry, right? Like, maybe she's just hungry. Oh my gosh. I mean, even though it's my group and these ladies all know me, like, oh my gosh, like, reply. I mean, they kind of piled on me, and I stood to it. Like, I was just like, you never know what somebody else is going through. And like, I think you just have to be kind even when others aren't kind to you.
Exactly. What helps me remember that is the response able, right?
Yes.
Because I can control my reaction, but I think maybe 80% of other people forget that they can control their reaction.
Right.
So they're being controlled by outside circumstances.
Right.
And so something like that happens, or someone is behaving like that, it helps to remember that they don't realize that they're in control of how they act.
Right.
And they don't realize that they can choose a different path.
Right. You can even just choose your facial expression.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think I've learned way more recently.
Yeah.
Because I think just choosing your facial expression, choosing to smile, just when somebody else is rude, it just can change the whole dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just returning a smile.
Yeah.
I think is so powerful. I don't know.
It's true. Yeah. And someone else being rude, that's on them.
Right.
They were rude. You don't have to be rude back.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just paying them a compliment, even when they're rude. I don't know. I just think it just is a way to change the dynamic.
Yeah.
Or, wishing them the best day ever. Like, hope you have your best day ever.
Yeah.
Even if they've been rude. Like, maybe a positive word can just maybe change their dynamic.
Yes, it can.
I have a girlfriend who studies brain chemistry or whatever, and one of the things that she tells is that in your brain chemistry, and I'm going to tell it the layperson way because I don't know all the fancy words, but the way that I interpret what she says is that in your brain you have railroad tracks, and your thoughts are like railroad tracks. And so you can have like a break in your railroad track, and that can be like the negative and positive thoughts.
Okay.
And you can repair those with positive thoughts or negative thoughts, right? You can have negative railroad tracks.
Yes.
And you're just chewing along with your negative thoughts, right?
Yes.
And a positive thought can come along and crack that railroad track. And then all of a sudden, that positive thought has broken that negative railroad track, and that choo-choo train just falls over.
Nice.
I know, this is like the layperson way
Yes,
of saying it, right?
yes.
But like that negative railroad track choo-choo is like choo-choo with the negative thoughts, and the positive, like you can pay somebody a compliment, and it'll run that choo-choo train and derail it.
Yes.
And the negative choo-choo train is off its track with that one compliment that somebody has given you. And then like that positive compliment then might repair the positive choo-choo train track. And then the positive train is like choo-choo training along. And so, I mean, obviously she says it in a way more professional tone, but so then like from what she taught me, like then I'm like, oh, I'm going to be like the person at the restaurant who sees a woman with some really cool shoes on and be like, honey, I love your shoes today. And if she's having a bad day or if she's hungry, then maybe my one little positive comment is going to like knock her little negative choo-choo train off its track and give her a positive choo-choo train.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what that does? That lifts you up too.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, and it helps my positive choo-choo train keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so all of that to say, like when I hear you, especially at your women's event every year, which I think is so powerful and so important, and I do hope we find a better, bigger place to do it, and like we can grow and all the things. But when I hear you up in front of 600 or 700 women every single year, and you're doing your little chant, and you have 700 women on their feet saying, and this is the best day ever, in a way that is so memorable. And then this year you added the lady who wrote a song.
Singer. Yes, the
oh
best
my
day
God.
ever song.
And that song is so great. Like, then you have created such a powerful choo-choo train that I don't think you even know, like, I don't know, you probably don't even know the magnitude of the power that you have on people, that it just is laying this track for people that makes a difference in your children and in the ripple effect that they have with other people, and in the ripple effect that you make with these women in this big room every year.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the ripple effect that you're having just on people every single day.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And the ripple effect that we're having with all the women out there that we just don't even know who are having their worst day ever.
Yes. Maybe. Yes.
And
True.
the mindset shift that even when you think you're having the worst day in your life, that sometimes we just don't even know that it might actually turn out. You might look back on it and be like, wait a minute, like what I thought was the worst day, like really turned the corner for me, that led to this, that turned out that it made this big old difference for me to be the best day for me.
Yeah,
right?
A blessing in disguise.
Right, because if it hadn't been for this thing that happened that changed everything, that these other great things wouldn't have come from it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, my mom always said, sometimes your worst day in life turns out to be your best day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, can we end our episode with your chant one more time?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Lead it. Let's do it.
I feel great.
I feel great.
I am full of energy.
I am full of energy.
Today is the best day ever.
Today is the best day ever.
This is the best podcast ever.
This is the best podcast ever.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank y'all for joining us.